This is Lon Winters with Graphic Elephants.
This is Jimmy Lamp.
This is Matt Vassallo with the RhinestoneWorld.com.
And you're listening to the Two Regular Guys podcast.
And you are listening to the Two Regular Guys podcast.
Hosted by...
My name is Terry Combs, RG, regular guy.
And Aaron Montgomery.
We're just regular guys having fun and trying to make a living in this really cool and exciting industry.
I think we all want to succeed 100% of the time.
Seek to understand before I try and make myself understood.
Bring a ton of great information.
Coming to you live from somewhere dark, dirty, and dank.
All right, folks, welcome into the show. It is Friday, September 9th, 2022. I am obviously not Terry Combs. I'm Eric Campbell sitting in for Terry Combs, and you can find me at ericcampbell.com.
Awesome. Yeah, we make lots of jokes at Terry's expense today for sure.
Always.
Yes, definitely. All right. Well, I'm Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me over at oursuccessgroup.com. As noted, Terry is off today. He's doing a DTG DTF training class out in Equipment Zone in New Jersey. So wishing him a great day out there and looking forward to hearing about that. But we've got Josh Carruth from Printing United Alliance. He's going to be joining us along with Cassie Green from the Apparelist Printing United Alliance and some members of the esteemed Garment Decorating Committee and the folks that are just really making things happen in our space. And some really cool stuff happening at Printing United at the Expo coming up and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a full house today. I think this will be actually a record for us, even though 10 years in, Eric, this will be the first time that we've had this many people on screen at one time.
I think it might. I mean, it seems to be working fine. We'll have to just go through it as we go to it. But, This is what we do. If you see me going crazy, pushing buttons or looking off screen, that's why. That's why there'll be a lot of people to bring in and bring out.
We're here for the podcast. We're here for the audio, Eric. It's all good.
I can't wait for it, though. I can't wait for it because we have such a group of awesome people here. We have people who are great industry, teachers and people who are handling things and organizing and making things happen. So I just cannot wait to get them in.
Yeah, and there's some really exciting stuff happening, coming together. Printing United Expo coming up in Las Vegas really soon. I'm sure I just made Josh and Cassie kind of cringe a little bit, but it's coming up and they're doing great work and it's going to be awesome. So we're going to talk about those things. We're going to talk about kind of what this all means, right? How we can. This is a big show. If you haven't gone and checked it out yet and seen the footprint of this thing, bring some walking shoes. This is a big show. This is going to be the commitments from companies like Hewlett-Packard and things like that I've been reading about. I mean, gosh, it's going to be really big. So
huge stuff.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the stuff happening in the future. And like we talked about, we've got a whole panel of guests joining us here today. So, Eric, yes. I know that, we've got a lot to do. We've got a lot of people to talk to here, but we would be remiss if we did not do a dad joke.
I mean, the dad joke is absolutely a fixture here. We can't not do the dad joke. I mean, sincerely, what would we do if we didn't have the dad joke? Even if we don't have Mr. Terry Combs here to deliver it flatly and let me ruin it by explaining it, I think we still need to go through.
All right. Well, if you are catching the live version, it might help also explain it too. Now, this is I needed to get some extra ones into the tank. So last night, my 11-year-old son and I had a conversation about, hey, dude, I need some more dad jokes. And he's like, oh, let me get my book. I'm like, no, dude, I want ones that come from your heart. So these are the ones that he came up with. This is one of the ones that he came up with. We'll get to some of the others in future shows. So you'll have to tune in then. But here's the question for you, Eric. Why don't you want twin witches?
Okay. So why don't you want twin witches?
Well, how would you know which witch is which?
For the life of me, I don't know, Aaron. The mind of an 11-year-old is a wonderful thing, but
it did
I think I'm a long way out of it. Hey, that's the point. Besides, what I always said, like I said last week when everybody was giving me trouble for my dad joke, the dad jokes are supposed to hurt. If they don't hurt a little bit, we didn't do it right.
Yes, indeed.
They're not supposed to be good, guys.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the point.
That is the point. Awesome. Well, Todd, I see your comment, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised there. So
we got comments, we got questions. Why don't we say hi to a few of the people who are in here?
Yeah,
we always say hi to a few people who are listening live. So we have Lyndon joining us. Happy Education Friday. Thank you, Lyndon, for being in. Chuck Peterson saying good morning. Todd's in saying good morning. Christy, Cindy King, Kim Johnson all saying good morning. Ramona saying it 3 times for good measure.
Yes.
Good morning, Ramona.
That's what I like to do. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Yep. Yost is in from Sweden. Awesome. Lee is in. Amanda is in. And everybody is already responding with their own dad jokes. Send them into the show. They have to go later.
That's
we
right.
can't have
That's
dad
right.
jokes
Lee,
all day.
We'll put that into the database that we have.
Oh God, I hate that one worse than any of the jokes. If you guys didn't know, since I don't have time to explain it, it's the dad base, and yes, that's how it gets spelled in the outline. And no, I'm not going to apologize. It's not my fault. All right, Kristen also saying good morning from rainy Minnesota. Yeah. Good morning, Kristen. All right.
Well, Eric. Well, we got to keep moving. We got lots to cover and lots of people to talk to here. So let's move on to the next segment here, sir.
All right. So before we dive in, I want to thank you to everyone. I want to send up a big great thanks to all the people who are checking out Two Regular Guys podcast today. We're always looking for new guests, however. So if you or anyone you know would like to join us, please go to calendly.com/2regularguys with your show ideas. We would love to have you guys sign up for a date and book some time. If you are listening to the podcast version of our show, we'd appreciate you sharing the Two Regular Guys podcast with your industry friends so they can become regulators too. We would appreciate you giving us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Podcasts, or wherever you find us, wherever you do your podcast listening. If you're watching us live right now, however, please join in the comments and questions. We love to have you guys join in and get in on the fun, especially with so much going on and so many questions people have about what's going on with Printing United.
Yeah. And so many awesome people that we can ask questions of. So this is your opportunity here.
This is your chance to put everyone on the spot.
That's right. That's right. Just grill them. That's what we bring them
It's
here
just
for.
Us here. It's just friends.
Just amongst friends.
All
right.
Fine.
Well, Eric, as we talked about, some excitement happening here. Printing United coming up very soon. Lots of other things, exciting stuff happening here towards the end of, gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this right now, end of 2022 already. And, we're just about into the fourth quarter, everybody. So sorry about that, but that's the reality. So lots of good stuff coming up. Let's hear a quick word. I am super excited about another event I get to participate in next week as well over at Graphics Pro Expo. So let's hear a quick word about that.
It's time to register for the upcoming Start Here Academy, a live in-person event in conjunction with the Graphics Pro Expo in Charlotte, North Carolina. Join us on September 15th from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Charlotte Convention Center for valuable startup resources, information, education, networking, and more. This night school-style conference allows attendees to exchange ideas, explore new products, workshop their challenges, and hear from industry influencers. It's emceed by me, Aaron Montgomery, one of the co-hosts of the Two Regular Guys podcast and co-founder of our Success Group. Attendees will receive information on popular product methods. For more details and to register, go to osg.link/SHA. Again, osg.link/SHA. I can't wait to meet you there next week.
All right, everybody. So yes, like I said, I can't wait to meet you there next week. And I'm going to be out on the road. So we're Charlotte, then I'm heading to Myrtle Beach, and then a quick reprieve, and then on the road to Vegas. Driving through Albuquerque, Eric. Hint, hint.
All
right. On the spot. Anyways, okay. Well, let's do this, Eric. We've been dragging our feet long enough here. There's not going to be any pretty way to do this. We're just going to start bringing the whole group in. We're going to just get beyond the pleasantries real quick, and we're going to dive right into some questions. So
everybody has questions at Printing United. We want to bring everybody in. So we bring the entire crew of people. So hold on, everybody.
Hang tight. Here they all come right now. We've got and Brett and Jed. All right. So hello, everybody.
Hey,
Welcome
everybody.
into the Two Regulars podcast. It's so great to see you guys. Okay. So we're going to let you guys introduce yourselves here in just a second, but I want to get right into something with Josh straight away. This is going to be in Las Vegas. So is it true the what happens is that okay. I'm kidding. I was not done with the dad jokes, apparently. All right. Well, let's just go around here and just have you guys introduce yourselves real quick. We don't need the elevator pitch or anything like that. Just who you are, what you do, and why you're here. Right. So, Josh, I'm going to start with you, and we're just going to go around in order here. So, Josh, start us off, please, sir.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. It's Josh Carruth. I'm the managing director for decorated apparel here at Printing United Alliance. So I'm a good steward for our community across all the aspects of the Alliance.
There you go. I love it. Awesome. Cassie, your turn.
Thanks for having us, guys. So I'm Cassie Green. I am the senior content editor for Apparelist.
Nice. Excellent. Awesome. And you've got the shirt on to prove it. So love it. All right, Jed, your turn, sir.
Hi, my name is Jed Seifert. I'm co-founder of Stakes Manufacturing and champion of disability inclusion in the print industry. And I'm just here to tell a dad joke.
All right, excellent. Well, shoot.
That should be arranged.
That's good.
Do I get to throw one out?
Yeah, you go for it. Let's do it.
Go for it.
So what did the 0 say to the 8?
I don't know.
Nice belt.
That is awesome. All right. Well, and for those of you, Jed's actually going to be back joining us in to talk about what he just mentioned there, the disability inclusion in more detail later on in the year. So we'll talk more about that later. But thank you for being here, Jed. Brett.
Hey, I'm Brett with Printed Threads and Made Lab, and we're here to talk about Made's partnership with Printing United and what we're going to be doing at the show.
Awesome. Can't wait to hear about that. And Thomas.
Hi, I'm Thomas Trimmingham, Director of Marketing for M&R Companies, and we're proud to work together as a partner with NAPCO and Printing United as sponsor of the apparel zone.
Awesome. All right, guys. Perfect. So let's start here. And Josh, I'm going to go back to you here real quick. My joke about what happens in Vegas, it didn't really land, but I have been hearing.
We're going to tell everybody about what happens in Vegas this year. That's not going to apply this year.
It's not going to apply. Okay, good. We got that cleared up. Well, one of the things that's kind of been out there, kind of some rumors and things that we're hearing, maybe confirm for us, is that maybe there's some vendors that have been absent in the past that are possibly coming back. Can you give us any details on that?
Yeah, well, noticeably, what you might be referring to is kind of the return of some blank apparel.
Yes.
It's kind of, been one thing as, typically known as a heavy equipment show where you need the substrate. So we focused a lot this year on making sure that, the community is appropriately represented on the show floor, and that includes blank apparel. So we had an internal goal and we're right on track for it, somewhere between 15 and 20 blank fabric substrate providers. And that will be something new to see, that kind of add to the mix. So you kind of do everything you need to when you come.
Yeah. One-stop shopping. All right. I like it. Excellent. Well,
Awesome.
Well, Eric, did you have some questions, sir?
I did, because honestly, people are already asking. We had it in the comments. People are asking about education. So, Josh, hate to put you on the spot again. While you just got.
I'm glad you brought that up, because
talk about it.
Yeah, I've heard some of the rumors, and it's that there's no education at Printing United. That's simply not true. We took a different approach based on empirical data. So let me break it down just for the record. Now that we're live and on video, in 2019 we had record attendance, right? More than any show prior when it was SGIA because of the amalgamation, the creation of the Alliance. With that attendance shooting up and trending up, the sessions did not. And we had a third party, not a NAPCO affiliate, a third party affiliate on the show floor doing surveys. And, the overwhelming percentage was, we want something different. So we took it upon ourselves to go, all right, well, what's that? And specifically something experiential. So across the entire floor, now I'm talking not just the apparel segment, because we're a piece of the pie here. Across the entire floor, we developed zones, pavilions, and theaters to meet the educational needs that people wanted. Where some are hands-on, tactile, and some are more content-driven or content-focused. It's ranging from like overarching keynotes, and this isn't like, no offense, Tony Robbins coming and giving an inspirational speech. Think informational. These are all very potent people in our industry who are speaking. So that it's not like, we just went out and got some folks. Now, speaking from an apparel standpoint, that's kind of what I was more involved in, that I can talk to. And actually, some of the folks here today, as a matter of fact, are involved on both sides of that. We took it as a two-pronged approach. We created the apparel zone, which without M&R's partnership would not have been possible. This is a true macro factory. It's not a micro factory. The micro factory is like one little corner of it. But pretty much every application technology in the market today, from a short run to a commercial solution, is being showcased. except wide format direct to fabric, because we couldn't get the machinery here in time. But that was the plan. It was actually part of the plan. So it is the tactile, come get ink under your nails, as our fearless leader Mark Subers likes to say, which is it's a great explanation. You're going to touch and feel and look and learn from industry experts about the equipment, about the technology. It's not a sales pitch. And we've ensured this because we've partnered with another nonprofit called US Vets, which is a phenomenal organization. If you don't know who they are, look them up. They'll be on site. Talk to them there. Their mission is to get homeless veterans off the streets and back into the workforce. So we're using their artwork to be producing in all the areas so that there's a synchrony between everything and you can see how it's made. And of course, there'll be examples of the full range of the technologies. That would kind of be limiting if we just stuck to that. But that's kind of the tactile, right? So there's your hands-on, and the yin to that yang, the balance to it is the future state theater, which is content-driven, which is industry leaders who have, submitted presentations that are looking the next 3 to 5 years in the industry, and that ranges everything from sustainability and trends and what's going on to how you make your capital investment decisions based on today's economical climate. It's some really, really cool stuff. Everything from how we even look at our industry as a whole, and opportunities to engage with experts. So the statement that we don't have education is simply false. It's just in a non-traditional format because that's what we were told. And what I can guarantee is that if we have the show and we get different feedback, we will adapt to what people want. But we're simply relying on the data because that's where it took us, and that's what that's what you have to listen to.
Yeah.
Cool.
So plenty of education. It just doesn't happen to be stuffed away in some stuffy classroom. You're, like you said, you're getting ink under the nails. I'm going to have to bring an extra pair of pants. I can't walk by screen printing equipment without somehow.
That was always the joke in a multi-decoration shop. All the embroiderers, we would tease each other. The printers would tease us that we weren't real decorators, and we would tease them that they were dirty, full of ink, and throw tape balls at each other and love each other the whole time.
Yeah, there you go.
That's not even to mention the education is provided by the experts themselves and the suppliers that are there. And now, some of that, obviously people go, oh, no, it's pitching. Some of the best education comes from the experts. Thomas, I'm not just saying that because you're on the call. They know the material. They know the equipment better than anybody else. So I think that's a semantic way to put it, but I absolutely don't think it's true. And there'll be rich educational opportunities at the show.
Good.
Very cool.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Great. So speaking of the education and whatnot, as we talk about the apparel zone, I want to go get kind of into the weeds on that a little bit here. So I know I mentioned M&R has been crucial in this. So I'd like to just throw it over to Thomas here. Can you talk to us about some more details of what maybe people can expect there in the apparel zone?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been, this is the biggest show we've had in over 2 years for sure. So we really wanted to open it back up in a big way. Like we wanted to show up and really make a statement. And we've been fortunate to be able to work with the folks at Printing United to be able to do that. And they gave us this opportunity, and we thought, why not go all in, And so we really went all in, and we came there with, we've got all the major styles of decorating that M&R supports, as well as the accessory equipment. So you're going to see 3 major styles of that in the apparel zone. So you see manual printing, direct from experts in the apparel zone. You see automatic printing, and then also industrial DTG. And then in our regular booth, 5 aisles over, we've got hybrid. So we've got all the major styles of decorating that M&R supports at the show, functioning, full production, so that people can really see how it's done. So it's, and there's a lot of great companies at the show. And so, M&R is proud to work with everybody, honestly. And competition only makes everybody stronger. So whether it's Brett, or other people, we like everybody and work with everybody. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great to see everybody again at the show. And, M&R is looking forward to featuring a lot of new equipment, more equipment than we've ever had at a show ever. So brand new equipment, whether it's tech previews or even product launches, we're going to have more new equipment at the show than I've ever seen. So it's going to be fantastic. I'm really excited.
That is exciting. Very exciting. Anybody else have anything to share about the apparel zone? And we can certainly go back to it, but Thomas, thank you for sharing all that.
I love to talk. So I mean, Thomas is the main partner in the apparel zone. But you also forgot to mention bagging and folding, Thomas. We'll have that will be showcased too. You'll see them are. So we are kind of rounding it out. But it's an 8,000 square foot decorating shop with a cafe, because we know this industry and we know they like their coffee in the morning.
Sure.
And things in the afternoon. But there'll also be a podcast booth, which actually Cornette is sponsoring that. Thanks to them, we'll be able to put a space on the show floor, and we've invited industry influencers like yourselves to come in and actually record some sessions there on site. We kind of put you in a fishbowl, sorry about it, with a plexiglass wall up front so people can actually listen to you guys. There'll be speakers that can engage with you. But that's also another educational opportunity if you're looking at it, because it's going to be the best and the brightest in the industry talking about, what they're seeing, what they're going on. We get everybody together in one place. The conversations can happen will be amazing. And with the cafe coming in from, with Omniprint supporting that, we've got, as Thomas mentioned, a great mix of, co-opetition going on in this space to keep it focused on education versus, a pitch zone. This isn't the medieval gauntlet people are walking into, and everybody signed on to that, which I think is very unique. And what makes that area special is that they're all like, hey, it's a good cause that we're trying to help out. Because I think I forgot to mention that all the Overrun product with the US Vets logo is going to be donated to US Vets to sell on their website, as decorated apparel is their #1 source of revenue generation. That's actually what spurred the connection. Was an ASI article, as a matter of fact, that we read on them, and it's like, man, we got to do something here. So everybody's working for a good cause, and everybody's dedicated to, the sales teams are not in there. It's the product managers. It's the technicians who are educating about it. I think that's what makes that area special. It's kind of the North Star for our community at the show, where people can come and, disperse from there for what they need, what they find, what they see. It's all represented through a myriad of manufacturers on the show floor.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Awesome. Yeah, very cool. I have to talk about the podcast fishbowl real quick. I now have to make a sign that says, please don't feed the animals. So beer only or something. All right. So no, seriously, this
please
is
don't.
super
If
cool.
you see Aaron and Terry, don't feed them beer. I'll just have to take care of them later.
All right. So Ramona's got a good question here, though. Josh, you did kind of mention some of the kind of more startup stuff, but she says, this sounds very commercial buyer driven. Obviously, we're talking about the breadth of everything here, but will the prosumer, kind of that more entry level person, find something there for them? So, Josh, or anybody want to speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is from entry level to commercial solution. Sorry if I breezed over that because I talk really fast. That's the whole idea. So everything from, I have one heat press to I've got roll-to-roll die sub, everything in between. That's where the macro factory comes in. But absolutely, if you're an established decorator, you can find things here.
Awesome,
very cool.
Yeah, we have a manual press there, and we're going to have some of the, I guess, strongest experts in the field are going to be there to help people out. If you're a beginner, you definitely want them to stop by. And Made Labs has got some great stuff too, so you can see those folks. I mean, there's some great stuff at the show.
Yeah,
for beginners to just kind of get their feet wet.
That's awesome.
I think I'll say the first time I went to a printing what did it used to be called? So different kind of show, same different name. It is an overwhelming experience because you'll walk in and see some of the biggest machines you've ever seen in your life. And so don't let that intimidate you, because you just keep walking and then you'll see stuff for everybody.
I
know that in our booth, we'll be doing some demonstrations with supercolor and heat transfers and that type of thing, as well as screen printing. And so I know that there's a little bit for everybody.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Good to hear.
Thanks, Brett.
All right. So I did hear one thing as we were talking about the zones, we're talking about different areas in the theaters and things that are happening. One of them kind of stuck out for me, and it's something that I absolutely have to ask about. So also, we got a comment too, the Future State Theater. I love this concept, and Josh Ellsworth coming in from Stall saying, can't wait to educate Future State Theater. So excited for Printing United this year. And honestly, everybody's excited to see it. But I want to hear more about the Future State Theater. We would love to hear more perspectives, but we haven't heard from you yet, Cassie. Knowing that everyone trusts you for news and stories from the Apparelists, I would like to have you weigh in on this Future State Theater thing first and foremost.
Sure. No, I'm happy to speak to it. So yeah, Future State Theater, as Josh already mentioned, is sort of a different approach on education. We're going to have a lot of like keynote speakers, but more particularly, like Josh said, these are people who are specific to our industry. You can come sit down, listen to them talk, get the education. There's going to be panels. So it's not just going to be, one keynote speaker, followed by one keynote speaker, followed by one keynote speaker. Lots of panels, lots of people offering different perspectives from different topics. I think Josh may have wrangled me into doing a few things for that. So I may be doing that, a little bit expansion on the connected threads, if you will. So, he could be very persuasive. But very excited about that because it's something different. Sometimes you go to the events and you see stages with a lot of experts on them, and that's great. I think the interactive portion of it is highly valuable. So I hope that helps answer the question or answer the comment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I love this concept that we're kind of looking ahead, that we have something that's, we're interactive, we're looking ahead, we're getting perspectives. And I think that's some of the things that we've been missing. Everybody's talking about how to get back to where we were. I want to see everybody looking at where we're going. And I love to see that you guys are doing that.
Yeah. And I think
Nailed it.
Yeah, that's huge. Why it's future, right? That's a huge part of it. Is there is going to be a lot of talk about let's look ahead, let's prepare, let's be ready for the next big thing. I mean, the world has changed, right?
Yeah.
How are we going to be ready?
Yeah. I think that's something that's fair to say. Time to stop looking toward getting back, and time to start looking toward what the new world looks like. Excellent. We're going to keep doing this, so we might as well know where we're headed.
Yeah. And it's driven, and it's driven by like-minded people thinking that way, and that's where the partnership with like a Made Lab comes in. Yeah. And so really this idea was spurred on kind of viewing the industry in the same way, and we're hearing it. We knew in 2019 from data, people said they wanted this. The folks over at Made Lab, that's kind of what they're all about and what they're trying to do, and it was like, okay, this makes sense. So we partnered with Made Lab to develop this concept, and they've done a great job and been integral in helping us develop, kind of the look and the feel of it, just to kind of set it slightly apart from the other show features. And so, Brett, if you're able to speak to some of that too, I know you've worked with us some on it, and it was a lot of Tom stepping in with it, but really excited to have you guys help us with that and help us with some of the programming.
Yeah, I think over the years, Tom and I have actually been very involved with SGIA and Printing United. And while we were still sitting on the board, helped develop some conferences within SGIA that kind of focused a little bit more on thought leadership, which this kind of screen printing segment hadn't done before. And really like the idea, when we go back to talking about education at an event like this can be very difficult because people have to leave the show floor. And when you have to leave the show floor and go to an exhibit hall somewhere else, then you're constantly pulling against yourself. Like, I really want to go see that next thing. It's on the next aisle over, but now I'm going to leave and go off the conference floor or off the show floor. And then you have to go to the bathroom. And then on your way back to the show floor, you run into a friend, you guys go to lunch, you never make it back to the show floor. So how do we keep people on the show floor and keep people educated and not have themselves pulling against each other to go there or try to make a decision to miss education? And so being able to put all the education on the show floor and basically create a conference on the show floor. So it's education, it's thought leadership, and bring in some people that are doing really impressive things in our industry to come talk about what's next. We know that every industry manufacturer is working really hard on digital, and there's a lot of digital that will be present at this show. But having someone that speaks, that is developing digital stuff, could get on the stage and talk about what's next, because we as screen printers are eager for that knowledge. And then just people talking about where the industry is going, where we are right now, and pushing ahead. And I think you guys are right. a lot of people have focused on getting back to normal, but normal isn't normal anymore. Like we are far past whatever our normal life was before, and we're moving in a very fast trajectory towards the future. And I'm excited to hear the speakers.
And Jed's one of those people, Brett, you just mentioned, doing those amazing things outside the technical aspects, just within the community to shore up kind of, our industry's, culture at large. Jed, if you could, share a little bit about the ideas that you brought to us and that we're going to try to help you get on stage and talk about, it'd be awesome, man.
Absolutely. And, I'm really excited for the show. And I think everybody kind of hit the nail on the head here. The beauty of what we're trying to put together is talking about change and future of the industry, right? If we're just talking about the State of the Union, we're already falling behind, right? We really need to be focused on where we're going next. And as far as I'm concerned, in my lifetime, the print industry is moving at a faster pace today than it ever has. And the gaps between the decoration methods are slimming down. So it's an incredible time to be in the industry. It's exciting. It's exciting to be part of these conversations. So I'll be sitting on a panel talking about the future of the print industry, which is super exciting. And then I'll be leading a panel on the print industry uniting around disability inclusion. And I think it's a meaningful thing to me because my brother's got disabilities, and getting a job changed his life and gave him independence, the ability to pay his own bills, move out of my parents' house, find happiness, purpose. And we built that within our own organization, right? We're up to about 8% of our staff has disabilities, and we're continuing to grow that. But what we're trying to do is champion that across the industry. And the Apparelist has been super supportive of kind of telling our story and getting the message out. And the momentum has been incredible. I mean, we've been reached out to by all these major organizations that want to put programs together. We're putting programs together at Corney. We're putting programs together at Rock. Lawson already has a program, and we're helping to kind of grow that. Ryan Nett already has a program, and we're helping to grow that. All those folks are going to be part of this panel, right?
That's awesome.
We're also not just talking about the print side. We're also talking about the garment side. So founder of Lane 7 will be part of the panel. We're starting the process to get that going there. And it's been really incredible. We've had an outpouring of people coming out and saying, hey, you know what? I wanted to get involved, but I had no clue how. So we've been able to help them, connect them with local disability employment service providers that are state funded, don't cost the employer anything. And what we're trying to do is really break down the barriers and show people their preconceived notions of why they can and can't hire people with disabilities are inaccurate. And this is also a great way to solve your staffing problems, because I don't know about you, but I haven't talked to a single person in the industry who isn't dealing with staffing and retention issues. So, really kind of leading the charge to help kind of create this change and momentum in the print industry, which historically has been far behind in inclusion, right? It really has been, but it's picking up steam at a rapid clip, and it's incredible to see people come together who might on any other day or any other conversation be complete competitors, but be totally unified in this vision of change and growth within this industry, so that we can go from being behind other industries to being a real trailblazer of inclusion and change. So really excited to kind of talk with, have an incredible panel of executives from huge companies and kind of bring everybody together and kind of educate people on how they can get started as well.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. All right. Well, okay. Jed, Brett, Thomas, we know you got to get back to your Fridays here, so we're going to let you go here in just a moment. But before you do that, I want to ask you guys one more thing here. I know we're here talking about the Expo and things going up, and obviously everybody's excited. You guys, the passion that you guys are sharing this with is infectious. But what I'd like you to do is kind of take that hat off for a moment. Let's say you weren't as connected, you weren't as involved in this. As somebody from the industry, tell us why you're excited personally to, we talked about some of this education and stuff like that, but what else is it that is kind of connecting you and drawing you into this? So I'm just going to go across the board here. Jed, would you start for us, please?
Sure. I think it's two parts. One, I think anybody goes to these shows, whether you're a beginner who's trying to start a business or you're a veteran working for a major corporation, you go to these shows because A, you want to see the cutting edge technology and be aware of what's next. B, it's the best place where you could bring people from all walks of your industry into the same place at the same time. Everybody's open to talk and social. It's a great way to network and build businesses. And I will tell you, we've kind of evolved through that. I remember my first show when we were going into the apparel industry, and that was basically our notebook of like, hey, we got to learn everything we can at the show so we could start figuring this out. And now when we go to the show, we go, all right, what's the next innovation that's going to change this industry? And how do we make sure that we're always on top of it and aware of it, and also meeting the right people? Because the industry is not only changing and evolving, but it's growing. So there's also new faces, and it's always great to see all the old faces as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Brett, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's always exciting to see the new equipment that's going to be coming out. I know that pretty much every manufacturer likes to use Printing United as a show to really show their best stuff. And not only, this is going to be a really different year for Printing United as well, because there's new technologies on board that haven't been at previous expos. So that'll be really neat to kind of see the cohesion of all different print manufacturing in one place. And then, the best possible part of any of this is we all get together with our friends that we haven't seen in a really long time and share and lament and help the industry grow to see better days.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Brett. Can't wait for sure. Thomas, how about yourself?
Well, it's two things really for me. I mean, personally, because you get to meet people one-on-one, and really meet people that are beginners. They come to the booth, and I really want to encourage everybody at the show, that's interested in screen printing. It's like, sometimes like Brett said, it can be intimidating. You go by the M&R booth, you see these giant machines. I want to encourage everybody, just come in and talk, because we got some of the most experienced people in the industry doing full production on our machines. I mean, you'll see full production at the show. So it's like, come in and talk to those people. They're going to be welcoming. Come bug me if you want. You can smack me around or whatever. I mean, just like ask me something. I love teaching people even just manual printing. It's super fun. See somebody's eyes light up when they, if they come in their apparel zone and they print up their first shirt or something. It's just an exciting, all the way across from that to the big printers that, hey, we're going to level up. We want to be really successful. So it's kind of the whole bandwidth, and you get to do that in one location at Printing United. So it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, that's great. Thomas, I want to piggyback on what you said there too. Like I said, coming in and just talking to people, right? Talking about manual and stuff like that. Unless you go talk to the people and you have those conversations, you're not going to know what you could know. Like Thomas, you're a great example of this, right? You can help them with a lot of things. But what people might not know is you could probably also help them with some artwork, things like that. You were on with us. In fact, you were probably one of the first video shows that we did years and years ago. And you actually help people kind of through the separation process, right? So that experience goes deeper than, Eric is another good example of this. He's the digitizing guy. Well, he does a lot more than that. So go out and have those conversations.
I mean, don't we all, if as decorators, it's just what we have to do? I hate to say that, of like, if you know a decorator and you think that they have one specialty, get ready, because every one of us who's been in this business for any period of time has managed to at least pick up a couple.
Figure it all out. Nice. Yeah, Lee actually shares down there. Eric says, you don't know what you don't know. So yeah, you got to ask. I love that. Excellent. Gentlemen, thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to let you go. Josh, Cassie, you're not off the hook yet, but the rest of you gentlemen, we will get your contact information into our show notes, but if anybody needs to reach out, we can do that and get you guys in connection with these fine gentlemen. And like I said, Jed, we're going to have you back on soon. Brett, Thomas, you're always welcome. So let's keep in touch, and I can't wait to see you guys out in Vegas.
It's going to be fun.
Gentlemen,
great seeing you guys.
Happy Friday.
All right.
Thank you for being on.
Excellent. All right. Well,
all right.
Perfect. There we go. Okay. Like I said, you guys are not off the hook yet. We still got more questions for you.
I want to thank them because they are a small, segment of everybody that's come together to make this successful. I just, I can't thank the industry enough because, I am not myself a printer. I'm trying to learn by osmosis. That's why I love these live events. But folks like them and Josh, like in the comments, like we're so excited to have all this support from the experts come out and back up what we're doing. It's been phenomenal.
Yep, for sure.
Absolutely. So, speaking on the Expo, so before we kind of move on, we have other stuff we want to talk about, the Print Night stuff and Apparelless stuff, because we know we've got you guys on the hook for a minute, and we want to ask you some more questions. But before we move on, is there anything we've missed when it comes to the Expo? I mean, we're an apparel decorator show. We've got Aaron's doing sublimation and vinyl. Terry, obviously, screen printer with a whole lot of history, and myself with a little bit too much embroidery and like thread literally within arm's reach where I sit right now at my desk.
Well,
but how does the Expo kind of bring everything together and show us a bigger world that we're part of beyond just the apparel decoration side?
I got two things. I'm gonna put you on the hook too, because I was mentioning this to Aaron. Like in that apparel zone, I would love, Eric, to have you floating around talking to folks, and we'll have embroidery represented. I reached out to you a few months ago, but it actually ended up coming through. But I think that's the idea. Everybody's welcome there. There's no I paid for the space, this is mine. No, they didn't. This is something that we've invested in, made significant investments in, to have the equipment partners come in. We're taking care of that so that it's not sales oriented. So I would love to have you there, and then I'll let you off the hook. But yeah, no, you're right. It's where we fit in, like right from an expo as a whole. I would book your hotel room now, because our hotel rooms are trending far above any show we've had before. Our reg trend lines are very good. Like, almost don't want to believe I'm good. Like, there's going to be a ton of people at this show, y'all. Like, oh my God, this could really turn out to be something special. And for our community to come out and represent our slice of the pie, because it is, if you can put ink on it, it's at this event, like Brett was alluding to, and that can be overwhelming for some. But as Thomas mentioned, I can tell you that every supplier would want to echo that and say, no, come in. Like, I honestly believe, and I saw a comment earlier too about, everything in the booth is sales driven. You're going to have to navigate some of that, but I believe with my heart that the majority of people want to make smart customers, because they end up being the right customers later. In 20 years and doing these types of events, that is my ultimate conclusion that I would come to. But yeah, the show itself is, we're larger from a net square footage standpoint than we've ever been before. So it's like bigger than before COVID, which is a bit of a rarity these days. So all signs pointing to go. So, highly encourage you to snack up those rooms quick, because our block will be gone and then you're on your own. Figuring that out.
Yeah. I'll certainly say, just as a decorator who actually, I was in a multi-format shop always. I've made films for screen printing. I've done a lot of stuff. I haven't pushed a lot of squeegees or pulled them, depending on who you are. I know it's a problem with you guys. But even then, I'm just going to say, from going to the shows and from just being a multi-format kind of person, multi-discipline decorator, you don't know what stuff is even out there until you go and see it. Just like we had an earlier comment that said, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what solutions are there for problems that you're already having. And the shows are really where that's going to happen. And there has not been a show with the kind of multidisciplinary breadth as Printing United is going to have this year. So it's something that I think is worthwhile for people to look into. And I think it doesn't have to be something you do in your core for it to be something that might give you really great ideas, even if you're not going to branch out.
Yeah, I mean, Cassie, you've been reporting on this for years. Yeah. Multi-technology is the name of the game, right? Diversify as you grow, right?
Yeah.
It sure is. And that's a huge thing about what's going to be so great about this show, is we're talking about it's huge. So it's going to offer a lot of things, like Apparel Zone, obviously, but there's a lot of things beyond that. I mean, you might wander over into the packaging pavilion. You might wander over into the wide format printing area. But one thing I wanted to point out, Josh, you use this word as community, right? Like, this is a community show. Like, we're here to build and be better. Everybody who's there is there to help you be better, to help you build yourself, build your business. So I think to really focus on that word community is huge.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really, really good. And Dave says if we run out of rooms, he will give up his. So maybe just a roommate or something like that, right? So, all right. Thank you. All right. So we're all stoked about the expo. I think that's fairly clear. And if you're not, then check the pulse. But we obviously know that Printing United Alliance, it's an alliance. community. There's that word there. Outside of the expo, right? Cassie, you've come in and you representing Apparelist in a lot of ways, right? You're the face of it, and which I think is awesome. It's incredible that you're out there doing that, and people are just so blown away with all the great information you're sharing. So give us the scoop on that. What was the kind of, how did Apparelist start? Give us all the dirt.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the huge thing again is the community. I really want to put a focus on that. We're here to connect the decorated apparel community, right? So when we came in and when Josh and I joined the crew and all that good stuff, we really recognized that there is a lot of need to help build the business, to bring the apparel community at large together. Not only from the experts at M&R and Made Lab and all those, those great partners, but also the decorators have a voice too, right? And a lot of times their pain points, we don't always know. And so we're here to be a voice for that. What is your pain point as a screen printer? What is your pain point as an embroiderer? Or where do you need to grow? Maybe you don't know the best bookkeeping tips you could possibly know, right? So a lot of times, I'm a creative, right? I would have no idea how to keep proper financials for a business. And so that's really where we're serving the need is we're giving a voice for that. We're here to connect and sort of in a different way in that, we also preach, like Josh was saying, that convergence idea. It's we recognize there's a lot of people who have joined the apparel decorating community who maybe have some experience, like I said, in the wide format world, or maybe have some experience in the promotional products world, but this is their first time in. They also have different pain points than somebody who's been screen printing for 30 years, right? And so everybody kind of brings those different perspectives. We're here to help build those perspectives, share them with everybody, network, give them a voice, and just kind of also have a little fun with it. Obviously, I like to wear my t-shirts. Who doesn't like a good t-shirt, right? Or a good hat, right? And so that's a huge part of it. It's just that community building.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Well, first, I'm just going to say, everybody go check it out, apparelist.com, and also QR code up in the corner. Yes, that goes directly to the Apparelist if you are watching on video. So, yeah, absolutely have to go check that out. Love seeing the updates from Cassie, by the way. So I just want to give my vote to that. Hey, I also like the Apparelist.
Well, thanks. Oh, and I wanted to say, if anybody ever wants, we'll take your feedback. So if you want to come on and be like, hey, Cassie, I think you should talk about this, or I think we need to talk about this, great. I love talk to me about it,
Absolutely. Everyone needs to be decorator driven. That's part of the whole strategy when it initiated is, where was the white space and what was not kind of being served that's out there in the market today? Because there's a lot of great stuff out there. I mean, talk about information overload. You can get great information in a lot of places. So trying to narrow in on what wasn't being served was a huge part of it, a huge part of why we selected the decorators that make up our editorial advisory board. What they represent from a startup to a multi-million dollar operation. So we have, difference in voice and what's going on and staying close with them has been, trying to be a huge part of what drives what, Cassie's doing. And hey, I'm a fan. I think it's phenomenal. I love it. I love that we've been able to show that the community might be a bit larger than we might all have traditionally looked at it, to the point she makes about, PPDs or promotional products distributors that have a high percentage of their sales are apparel, and it's being decorated by the makers in this segment, but everybody's part of the community. It's a lot bigger than you think.
Yeah.
That actually kind of leads me back to something Cassie talked about that we brought up earlier. We talked about the word convergence, which that's a word going back to the first ThreadX event. We've heard people talk about convergence. So it's not like it's a new word, but we know that it's becoming more and more of a thing, kind of understanding ourselves as a segment of this larger marketplace and what's all coming together. So what should our segment, what should the apparel world kind of be looking at as we are seeing this interest in what we do as a craft? How should we be looking at that convergence, or how our part is in all of this? What our part is in all of this?
So that could be any number. That's a subjective way to go about it. Depends on your business, right? Sure. But let's just use a theoretical example. I'm a screen printer and I make shirts. You should be selling promotional products, or making them, or having a strategic partnerships, and vice versa. This whole idea is predicated on two main things, right? Convergence itself is that when like technologies become closer together, ideation times shorten. That's a mass populist theory. It's very much proven to be true. So that's one aspect of it. things like DTF are a perfect example of that, right? As they come closer, now the technology makes a jump. People figure out how to tweak the solution, becomes applicable in another area. It's great. I think the second thing is that why it benefits our particular segment so much is because we have ungodly amounts of opportunity. There are studies out there that can show this, that they're not things that we produce. They're things that are out there from mass consumer reports, where something like 80% of people are aware that custom apparel exists, right? But only 20% of people are actually buying it. That delta is net new sales for somebody. You know what I mean? So the more we're connected, the more the community spreads, the more people that are selling it, the more revenue is going to be generated around this. That to me is the premise. So if I'm somebody who's doing one thing now, the whole diversify idea, the multi-technology idea, it offers more arrows in your quiver, which will help your business grow.
I think the other thing to kind of remind everybody about, I always say this and I kind of whisper, I make a joke out of it. I'm like, hey guys, no customers here, right? Yeah, customers don't know what they want until you show them. They don't have any idea what we do. Somebody comes in for a t-shirt because they know they can get a t-shirt, maybe.
But they want a mug too.
They don't know.
Can I just go to you, you know?
Yeah.
They don't really necessarily know. And if you don't kind of make yourself aware of what's possible and have those strategic partnerships, I always call it building your dream team. If you don't build out that team of people you can lean on for all these different technologies, or find out ways that can work for yourself, if you don't promote them, you can't wait for someone to ask you to know that that market segment exists. You can have that happen. They can ask you first, but understanding that and becoming part of that larger community and knowing this synergy is happening is going to put you ahead of the game.
Mm-hmm. Opportunity, people, opportunities, opportunities for growth and to expand. There's plenty for everyone.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that. Because that's exactly how I look at it too. The convergence, it's my thing that I'm always big about. It's the rising tide lifts all boats. And so when we raise that tide, we bring more people into this space and show them what's possible. And then we see what's possible from their end. Technologies start converging, things get better, things improve, like Josh was mentioning earlier.
You meet people at trade shows, you make partnerships.
You never know.
Yeah.
It's like there was this whole networking thing before it became social network.
It's like if there was only a place we could all get together and look at this stuff, like it'd be amazing.
I've heard of a place in Vegas, April, 18th through the 21st, right? There
October 19th through the 21st.
April. Gosh, it was an A word. All right.
There might be a place to find out about that too if you want to go check it out. So pringunited.com, guys. Go check it out and you can see all the details. And of course, QR code up in the corner for video viewers.
There you go. Now, obviously I can't keep things straight. I don't know how you guys do it. You guys are super busy, loads of things going on, obviously Expo front of mind. But then I saw this announcement about something in Nashville. What the heck are you guys doing to yourself? But no, seriously, tell us about this Nashville event. Josh, Cassie, whoever wants to jump in first, please give us the details on that.
Yeah, I can give the logistics of it. Cassie is obviously going to be, we are partners in crime when it comes to the content development. But the model itself is actually something that's existed for quite some time on the Alliance side and the other print segments. And it's got an amazing track record. It's essentially a business development conference. So no big trade show floor, nothing like that. It's very structured. It's an opportunity for one-to-one connections. And then a lot of networking, heavy significant emphasis on the networking. We're going to be in Nashville next June 12th, 13th, and 14th at the Lowe's Vanderbilt. So we're kind of, just outside of downtown. It's the right time of the week, so all the crazies aren't there yet. But the idea is to get, decorators and suppliers together, and it's not like it's a sales pitch. It's all about business development and making connections and building relationships, because that's who you want to do business with. But there are examples that I'll have to come back and give you on the other side because I'd be here all day talking about it, on just the success stories that come out of this. And I don't mean just from a supplier side, because the way we structure it in the model, we actually put people in a room together for a while and they build these little communities and they talk after the fact and they share, and they didn't know them from Adam when they got there. But over the course of 2.5 or 3 days, they build these little communities, and it's like an enriching thing to watch them go around and like they start to talk to each other and share ideas. And maybe they talk about a supplier or so, but it's honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like they're in a sales environment. It's all relationship building. But it's done through a series of, keynote presentations like those boardrooms that I talked about, one-to-one meetings, and then maybe some fun. I'm hatching a plan for some fun offsite activities. Let's see if I can pull it off.
Very cool.
But that would be cool.
Yeah.
We might just have to have you back for that.
Yeah,
talk about that later.
Cassie, I do want to hear from you though on this. I want to hear about the content side of this too, though. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you that the content strategy is being very specifically developed to be relevant. It's not like we're just going to throw like these canned presentations out there, these canned boardroom pieces of content that, it's going to be developed specifically for the people who are there, specifically for the conversations that we want to curate to make sure, like Josh said, the business development is achieved. Can't achieve growth without having serious, relevant, specific conversations, right? So that's really been what it is. And it's a lot of discussions about how can we best develop this? What are the different angles we can take? Who are we talking to here? Like, what do they need to know? And as Josh said, we are partners in crime. There's a lot of discussion going on about that because we take it seriously. We don't just want to throw out canned content.
Yeah, I love it. That's great. Yeah. Good. Very exciting stuff. So is there somewhere people can go to get more details about that or that coming soon?
Yeah, you can find details in the release on the Perilous website. That would be the place right now. And then as we solidify names and places and times, you'll be able to see the schedule kind of roll out of it. It is kind of an invite only. It is somewhat exclusive, so it's not going to be 10,000 people. So, there will be an application and everything like that to come to make sure we have the right mix of people and that the conversations are relevant. Now that will change every single year. It's how you keep it fresh. Yeah. But it's almost like matchmaking. You know what I mean? And a networking matchmaking kind of take on things.
All right. Well, I was trying to sneakily get information out of you that you can't share yet. So
always trying to get that one little bit.
I keep trying. I don't know.
Hey, as a fellow journalist, I understand that.
That's right. There you go. You get it.
I don't think we've ever been elevated to the level of journalist. Maybe the first time. That. I don't know.
Adding that, I'm going to my LinkedIn profile right after this.
Update LinkedIn right now. All right. Yeah,
well, so hold on real quick before sure. I've got one more question for him, Eric, and I apologize. I know we're kind of running out of time here, but obviously you guys are heavily involved in the community, talking to people all the time. Perilous, obviously, and then Josh and Printing United, and both those, everything working together there. What kind of things are people looking for education on? What's really the big struggle out there right now?
I think that depends on the size and the scope and scale of the business. Again, I hate to say it's subjective.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what we have planned this year, I think people want some direction. I think people want, some, I hate to use the word again, but thought leadership, just to give them some, whether they agree or disagree, it gives them a North Star to base their direction on, as opposed to some ultra technical things that maybe more if you're getting into things, just starting out or getting into things, you do want that technical knowledge. So I think that you have to think of who your audience is and who the balance is. So if I had to give an overall answer, I would say they're looking for some direction in what's going to happen. There's been a lot of uncertainty, and I know that word's been thrown around a lot in the last couple of years. But I find in conversations that I have is, well, what do you think is going to happen with this? What's going to happen? What's DTF going to do to the industry?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's talk about it. Let's get some of the best people who know what they're talking about and put them on a stage and have a conversation about it and let you engage with them.
Yeah, exactly.
How better to have that conversation?
Exactly. I love that. Yeah. Cassie, what are you seeing? Anything else out there?
Josh, I think said it really well. It's just, there has been a lot of uncertainty. Things sort of got turned upside down. How do we move forward? Whether I'm a startup decorator or I'm a multi-million-dollar decorator, where are we going from here? What's next? What do I do here? Again, direction, providing that insight into the future and what's coming, trending in both blanks and equipment and technologies, all that good stuff. They just need direction. we all need direction, So
yes, please.
True. Yeah. I think that's honestly all of us who educate. We know that that's what happens. And this is the thing. Sometimes Josh said this too. Josh said, thought leadership, you don't want to say it because you feel sometimes like you're being very like self-helpy. You feel like you're throwing that stuff out. But through education, this is before the pandemic and now, I always tell people 50% of what we do is give you a little bit of direction and the license to feel okay about going out there and trying things. And a lot of what experts do is literally just talk people down off of that kind of cliff where they're saying, I just don't feel like I can do this, or something's stopping me from moving.
Validation, right? It's a little bit of validation,
Yeah.
We're all human with real emotions, and we're getting to an age where we can start admitting that that's part of what's going on, even in business, even in the technical side of things. And I think that's fair to say. Community is a big part of that. Learning's a big part of that. And when we start from a foundation of learning and with the support of a community, we're going to have a lot better foundation to get moving. And I see what you guys are doing, which is why we applaud you so much for what you do.
Eric, you nailed it, because that's what we're doing. We see it in our segment, but that's what the alliance is. Now, imagine replicating this across every print segment, right? That's the goal of the alliance, is building these communities and letting them engage together. And that's a macro goal of the organization, which, I can't really speak to too much of it, but that's what we look for when we develop our member benefits. What's going to help the most? With the launch of the iLearning Center, it's going to build with content over time, but that's aimed at every single segment. There's something for everybody there that, obviously members have a better deal on than non-members, but you can still go see it. Even if you're not a member, you can still go and look at the courses. And if it's like, oh, this is what I want, you can get into it. So I think you just hit the nail on the head. And we're looking with our blinders on at this specific segment, but there is absolutely a push to do that across everything. One big happy print family.
Kumbaya. Let's do it.
That works for me.
Yeah.
All right. So, of course, the last question we always ask everybody, I know we've kind of promoted what's going on, but what can people do and where can they go to learn more about all that we talked about, and how can they connect with you too?
I'd start with theparallels.com. Great printingunited.com. Yeah, obviously, you've already flashed those, but I'm going to reiterate it.
We'll do it one more time. There's theapparelist.com. Catch the QR code. Once again, people said they liked that. I had people who really did use them. Now that the pandemic did one thing for us, being somebody who was early on QR codes back in the days of feature phones, and everybody made fun of me, I feel vindicated now. Now they were on every menu in the world. Now you can use them.
Yes, they are. Yes,
All right,
they are. And so, like, for me personally, I mentioned this already. I really like to have conversations with people personally. You can contact, all my contact information can be found at apparelist.com on the About Us page. Like, go there, shoot me an email, call me. My cell phone's on there. Like, I want to have conversations. That's me personally. Josh, I'll let you.
Absolutely. Same thing. We check out the Apparelist or printing.org is the domain. And my email address is jcarruth@printing.org. Please. We're here to talk. We're here to take criticisms. It's not, we can't grow if we don't know what we need to fix. And that's what we're looking forward to, is just, continuous improvement and trying to, provide the services that we do and provide the opportunities that we do so that you all can flourish.
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
Wow, guys. Thank you so much. What a wonderful conversation today. Frank Dunn said, what a great show. I wholeheartedly agree. So thank you guys for being here. And,
thank you guys.
We will talk to you guys very soon.
You guys are a part of this too. You guys are amazing supporters, and thank you so much for everything. And looking forward to catching up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's right. Can't wait to see you guys in October. All right.
Get the month right, my man.
Yeah, gosh, I'm all over the board. All right, guys. Have a good day.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. All right. Wow. I can't say enough about everything that's going on with those folks. I mean, Apparelist, a favorite source, a place to go, and love seeing all the stuff Cassie's doing. And then Josh just giving us the entire lowdown with Printing United. Hey, I feel the pain of just wanting to say everything because you're excited, Josh. Yeah. So don't feel bad, man. I got you.
Yeah, it was great.
But
Really
so
good,
much
good
going
information, and good to talk to everybody. And thanks to all of to Jed and Brett and Thomas for bringing their insight into it too.
Well, I didn't know quite everything about it. It's great to hear directly, like with Made, partnering in, and we have Jed who's given us that perspective of someone who's speaking, who's on the floor. And I'll say this too. I'm super excited to have Jed on later. That was great to hear, just kind of a preview of what's going to be talked about from him. So
exactly. Yeah, that's coming up November 4th,
nice.
and we'll have more details on that. So little ways out, but that's the cool part about being in your 10th season, right? We're actually almost all fully booked for 2022 already. So,
so this means if you guys are still trying to get in, I don't know if you're going to do what I'm about to do. I'm going to segue right in. If you want to get in, go to this address. We have bit.ly/2rgguest. That's one of the ways you can get to it, or you can go to the usual links that we have up, but this will get you there so you can sign up for a date. That is what you do when you get there.
Or if you've got somebody that you'd like to have us talk to, absolutely. And then, as Cassie said, she's looking for that stuff too. So it's out there.
If you have ideas, if you have commentary, info@tworegularguys.com is the email address you want to go to. So because sometimes people say they want to send ideas and they go to the other link. The other link is for signing up. This is where the mail goes. Send any of your commentary here, or things like, I don't know, the 5 things, which is awesome. We'd love to have 5 things.
Oh, 5 things, huh? Well, let's do that. What the heck?
You know what? Let's have 5 things.
All right. All right, guys. So back for 5 things. We've missed it for a little bit here, but I want to dive right in. 5 keys to a good marketing plan. We're just wrapping up the 5 keys of marketing here at our Success Group. So it was at top of mind for me. Number 1, thoroughly defined ideal. And ideal is in all caps in the way I'm saying it. I don't want to yell necessarily, but thoroughly defined ideal customer. That's number 1. Number 2, you need to have clarity and confidence in your brand personality and values. And just a little quick side note there, confidence comes from clarity, and clarity comes from getting into more details, being specific. So get real specific on that. Number 3, you need to pick your best strategy, not just any strategy that works for somebody else or trying everything and throwing against the wall and seeing what's going to stick. Focusing on your best strategy that's going to work for you and your company is number 3. Number 4, set the plan without overthinking it. Planning is best based on instinct, not on thinking. That's a counterintuitive notion there, but real quality planning that's going to lead you towards where you want to go is instinctual. All right. Number 5, you have to implement and evaluate. You need to start taking action as soon as possible, right? You get that plan, you start getting that together, and then start taking action on it. Don't let that momentum wane. And then as you start taking action, then you can evaluate and improve. So it doesn't matter, right? You've always got that safety mechanism in to improve every day, and you're going to have success. So there you go. That's my 5 keys to a good marketing plan.
All right. Great 5 things. Thank you, sir. If you guys want to be involved in 5 things, by all means, you can check out. We have a page for that on our website. So go grab that. Go and check out tworegularguys.com/5 things, where you can record, you can send things in, you can send text, and we can read it for you. If you're not a camera person, you want to get on camera, we'd love to have your video. But if not, you know, I send it in and have one of us be the mouthpiece for your 5 things. But we would love to hear from you guys and hear more about the 5 things that are important to you, even if they're not directly related to the kind of apparel decoration space. If you got something useful that you think will improve people's lives, we want to hear from you.
Absolutely. All right, Eric. Well, let's close out with some things that are happening. I'm going to just share real quick. I'm participating in an international online small business skills summit as a speaker right now. In fact, I did a panel discussion. They're based out of Australia, so I was up in the middle of the night to do this panel discussion. The next day, I felt like I was time traveling. Right? It's like, oh, it's actually Friday here, and it's Thursday night. Anyhow, so that's happening. 30 experts over 30 days. My session's actually coming up this Saturday evening, the 10th of at 8 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to be talking about conquering fear and how to thrive. And so there is still time to register and catch my session and 28 others. Or if you want to check out all of the other sessions, even though they've already passed, there is a VIP option that will get you all the past recordings, plus those panel sessions. Those panels are part of the VIP program, and very, very well attended, and so people are seeing the value in that. So osg.link/skills summit to be able to check that out. You can see it there on screen if you're catching it live. And then coming up next week, we already heard a little bit about it in the open there with Graphics Pro and Start Here Academy. Man, I am like super pumped. It's next week, getting everything, all the last minute details refined, and this is going to be big. This is going to be huge. It's going to be really awesome. So I really am honored to be a part of this, and I get to highlight 3 amazing makers. We've had 2 of them on the show, so come learn more from Stan and Eve and Lisa. So go to osg.link/SHA for Start Here Academy to learn more about that. And that's September 15th. Coming back and then getting in the car and heading to Myrtle Beach, North Carolina, September 20. I think it starts on the 22nd, maybe 22nd, 23rd, and 24th is what I believe to be the days. I'm only going to be there on the 24th, so but you should check out the entire show. And I'm going to be presenting 3 different workshops and also participating in a panel discussion there. But my 3 workshops are pricing for profit and confidence, the keys to starting a successful product decorating business, and then finding your customers to stand out in a crowd. Remember in the 5 things I talked about identifying your ideal customers, right? We're going to get into that. We talked about Printing United in Las Vegas, October 19th through the 21st. I got the day, the month right this time. You definitely want to be there. I'm driving from St. Louis all the way over to Las Vegas. So anybody I need to pick up along the way, just let me know. I'm sorry, Eric. I'm having fun. All right, October 28th and 29th.
Go check it out, folks.
Right after that. Yes, there you go. PrintingUnited.com. Excellent. And then October 28th and 29th, I will be presenting the Growing Your Business Effortlessly workshop. It is a business planning, strategic planning workshop that is now in a 2-day format, backed by popular demand here. And you're going to leave with actionable strategic business planning tools. And we're going to be covering 5 key areas to focus on for your business. So whether you're a 6 to 7 figure year company with employees or a startup solopreneur, this workshop will create positive change. We've gotten great feedback out of the last time we presented it. And so you want to check this out at oursuccessgroup.com/grow. Okay.
Nice.
I think that's it for me. Eric, what's up, sir?
All right. So as per the usual, today is Education Friday, and that's because we are going to go on to do the take up after the half. We do have the half coming up, so don't get worried about that. Aaron and I will be on for the half, but then I'll be doing the take up today, episode 127, believe it or not, the pillars and pitfalls of machine embroidery. We have these questions that get asked all the time, especially for digitizing. What are these foundational skills that makes an embroidery digitizer good at their work? What mistakes do they make that they fall into? What traps are there that you fall into as you become a digitizer? And how do these things affect embroiderers? It's questions that I've answered before, to the point of them being 2 of my most popular videos are short videos about these pitfalls and these pillars. I'm going to revisit those questions with a little bit of new insight from some of the stuff I've learned in the last couple of years. So we're going to talk about that today. So come on down to ericcampbell.com, check it out, or you can go to that bit.ly link that we have to go directly to the playlist. And that will let you see the most current episode that we can get onto. By the way, if you're wondering what time zone it's in, just click Remind Me on any of the social platforms that you get it on, and it will be in your time zone. But it is 2:30 p.m. Mountain
universe?
Time.
Okay, sorry.
No, we do Mountain Time here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And so because I'm no good at remembering all the time zones, I just say, hey, click on Remind Me and get yourself a personalized reminder. Why not? Or, hey, better yet, like and subscribe, my friends. Like click on it and get the notifications. You won't have to worry. However, go ahead and check that out at ericcampbell.com. The other thing I want to make sure I mention is we're coming up nearer and nearer to Fort Worth Impressions Expo is coming up. So if you want to see my longer session on making small red patches, or you want to get on my short session about editing for non-digitizers, head over to impressionsexpo.com and you'll be able to get in on those coming up very shortly. Like I said, right, and that change right before October starts, that's when we will be out there in Fort Worth doing Impressions Expo. So by all means, check it out, and I will be there. I know also we got Terry out there teaching too, so we've got plenty of good content happening there as well. So check me out there.
Excellent. Yep, definitely check Eric. And then, as you mentioned, Terry, let's talk real quick about Terry. He's got his complete screen printing business course, and you can find that happening in Phoenix at Workhorse Products. Now the September event is sold out, so and they sell out. So don't wait. He does have another event coming up December 10th and the 11th, and then he's presenting that same class at the Equipment Zone offices in Franklin Lake, New Jersey, just outside of New York City area. That's happening October 29th and 30th. And you can also catch him in Chicago at Atlas Screen Supply, November 5th and 6th. Last he checked, there was only a few spots left in that Atlas Screen Supply one, so make sure that you check that out. You can find all that at terrycombs.com. The Equipment Zone is going to be doing the DTG DTF training camp in Tempe, Arizona on September 23rd. So you can sign up for that at equipmentzone.com. And as Eric mentioned, Terry is going to be out at the Impressions Expo. He's going to be teaching how to make a living as a full-time garment decorator.
He's cutting to it.
Yeah, getting right into it. And then training and motivating the best production staff in town. So again, check out everything he's got going on at terrycombs.com.
Indeed.
Awesome.
All right.
All right. Well, sir, we are well into bonus time here. Nobody's shocked by that.
No, but hey, we made it. We made it to the closing of their show. We have to make sure we thank everybody who's here. We had an awesome group of folks. So thanks very much, of course, to Josh Carruth, who kind of corralled everybody and got everybody going on. We had Cassie on, which is awesome to have her on. Jed and Brett and Thomas all did fantastic jobs kind of showing what was possible out there. So plan to join the Tubular Guys in the booth C11109. That is how many booths there are, my friend. This is a big show.
C11109.
C11109.
Rolls right off the tongue.
It rolls right off the tongue. But yeah, go ahead and join us in the booth, and you're going to see us out there at Printing United.
Absolutely, and we'll put it in the show notes so you can check it out. But there is a code that
you'll
be able to use, and it's 046763
to get your free Expo pass.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
So yeah, use that code and you sign up over at printingunited.com, and that will get you your free Expo pass. But yeah, check us out in the booth, and we would love to see you there.
Excellent. Eric, thank you so much. I know, obviously, doing double duty today, you'll get look for extra pay on your paycheck. So
you get about I get 200% of the zero I usually get.
That's right.
It's awesome.
We're really gonna
entire raise, man. Huge bonus, huge percentage bonus. But at the same time, I manage about 75% of my production capability when I'm on screen. But we muddle through.
You did awesome. So thank you very much, sir. Next week, I will be off at Charlotte, as mentioned there. I'm seeing that Start Here Academy.
Yes.
But barring any technical difficulties, the plan is to be coming to you live from Charlotte. We are going to have a host show about pitfalls to avoid as a startup. So looking forward to having that happen. Eric will be on standby to he's like my safety net.
It might be a thing. I may or may not fill in when one of the guys can't make it. I don't know if you noticed.
He's been quite a safety net. So thank you, Eric. So look forward to that next week. Yeah, I can't wait for that show and talking about the pitfalls to avoid as a startup.
I forgot we even had that show coming, and then I did a pitfall show this week. Okay, sorry, folks.
Perfect. No, perfect. Well,
hey,
segue.
First,
perfect.
Get digitizing today. Get business pitfalls next week. Come on. Let's avoid the traps that we've all fallen in before you.
Or just relearn or get deeper information, right? Just keep learning.
All the different segments of what we need to do, including business, all come together to make us successful or not.
Yeah.
All right. So until we do our pitfall show, I'm Eric Campbell sitting in for Terry Combs. He's Aaron Montgomery.
And we are the two regular guys.
Here we go. We're out!
Awesome.
Thank you for listening to Two Regular Guys. check out our website at 2regularguys.com. That's the number 2, regularguys.com. You can also interact with us over at our Facebook page, facebook.com/2regularguys, or send us a tweet, twitter.com/2regularguys. And we have a YouTube page. You can find all that from our website, 2regularguys.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to spending some time with you again next week.